Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. Be seen on WHPR Detroit Live, Comcast Cable Channel 91, on the web at TV33WHPR.com, with the TV33 app, on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
Hey there, it's me, Butter, with my new book, The Many Adventures of These Nuts. Let's be nuts about our health. Join me and my friends, Wally Walnut, Almond Cruz, Pumpkin Spice, Chica Cheminsky, Morgan Raisin, and Hallie Cranberry, here with rhythm and song to share a fun way to stay safe and healthy. So together we can all be nuts about our health. Ebook available now on Amazon, or get a hardcover copy at www.thesenutstrailmix.com. That's nuts with a Z.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinga,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
And Take Us Along with You. And take us along with you. All the time, every time. And join Hood Research. The annual membership is $20. Lifetime membership is $300. You're tuned in to Feedback, a positive image production by Hood Research. My name is Theo Broughton, co-founder of Hood Research, and my co-host,
Thabiti, and we welcome you to the program.
absolutely. We're here every Monday at 9 a.m. for an hour and a half. And I want to say good morning to just so many of you who tuned in, and good morning to Gladys and Clementine, and good morning to Jewel. Good morning to, we haven't heard from Kirk in a long time. I hope he's doing okay. You have someone you want to say hello to?
Sly Soul, Sly Gold. Also, Ruth Ann, Sylvia, Cheryl, Jackie, Brother Fred, and let me ask you to have your friends, neighbors, relatives, co-workers, and acquaintances to tune in also. And you'll take note that at the bottom of the screen are the phone numbers. And as you see me demonstrate, I always ask you to have pen and paper handy, because you never know that little thing you want to jot down for later on.
That's right. And we also have to say good morning to Jay, way on the east side, and Anthony, and to Shirley, way on the west side. There's so many things that are going on in and around the city here. And money, 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 money. Yes, it is May, and I hear that money is coming this month. As a matter of fact, the good part is it's coming directly to Detroit, directly to the county, directly to the Detroit Public Schools. Whew, isn't that interesting? As opposed to always going to the state. And when it goes to the state, the legislators want to get their grimy little paws on it and see how much they can tip off and keep for themselves and their communities. But this money is meant for us. Almost $1 billion to the city of Detroit. That's us. $220 million to the county of Wayne. Well, we're in the county of Wayne. And 900 and some million through the Detroit public school system. Now, you know, the Beatty, I'm hoping that the superintendent is going to use that money to shore up the schools, to open up some schools that have been shut down, unfortunately, and that the children can be brought back. You know, by September, we're hoping that there will be a control of some kind on this virus that has gripped the world by the throat. I'm hoping that.
You know, I'm wondering, the money that, you know, I'll say at this point, it seems that Dr. Vitti has been, he hasn't stirred up any controversy, I'll put it like that, to the best of my knowledge. What I'm wondering, since there's a certain amount of money that's earmarked for the school system, and I'm sure you can answer this better than me. I want to let everyone know when I don't know, I defer to Theo. But I'm wondering, how much influence does the school board have over the superintendent in terms of guiding, you know, certain policies, etc.?
Well, the school board hires and fires superintendents.
Okay.
However, at one of the former meetings, the superintendent said, I speak for the board. So I'm like, oh, when did that happen? That he started speaking for the board. As if he's in charge and he's their boss instead of it being the other way around. I thought that was kind of interesting. And you know, more of you should attend school board meetings. Of course, the meetings that they'll be having now, you won't even have to leave your easy chair, your bed, your home, your backyard, because they're doing meetings by phone now, conference line, or by Zoom, you know. So I'm really concerned about how he's going to spend that money. You know, that's almost $1 billion.
Which, as I recall vaguely, that in '99 we had a surplus of maybe in that area or even greater, which seemed to just like smoke vapor disappear.
Oh yes, oh yes. Someone decided through something called systemic racism that we can't have those nigglets with all of that money, $1.5 billion. Are you kidding? Oh, no. And a construction owner, even in another county, went to Lansing and said, wait, no. 2 black-owned construction companies are going to split that kind of money and build schools and repair schools and have it look the way it should look for our children to be happy to go on a daily basis.
You know, when you said that the superintendent said that he speaks for the board, it kind of made me think of Detroit's mayor, who seems to speak for the city council.
Oh, yeah.
So where each one are supposed to act independently and exercise their own power, they've got someone who's lording over everything, which is and I guess if there's no rebellion to or standing up to this authority figure, then they're just like sheep and he's a shepherd, and now let me lead you to pastures of green and gold.
And slaughter. You know, it does appear that way, and that is so sad because the voters, the residents in this city elect the city council members. They elect the city council members. And their responsibility is legislation. That's the ordinances that govern the city. And also to review very carefully the budget that is presented to them in the month of April by the mayor. And you know, you just have to wonder sometime, who are these people? Do they really understand that they are, as you said, an independent body, a check and balance on the administration that's run by the mayor?
You know, what's interesting as well is that there are four, at least I know, that are confirmed that are not running for re-election. So that should make this a upcoming election. And let me just make a quick note. If you're not registered, everyone, August 3rd is the primary. So you need to get yourself together now. You know, don't scramble at the last minute. Many of you have free time. You may be able to do it online or set up an appointment where you can go down to do it in person. But we have a very important election coming up. As I said, there are 4 who are not running, including the council president, and there are 45 who got their names on the list. So you got people who are coming out of all kind of closets, doors, back alleys, who are trying to become part of the city council. So it's time to do your research, and as Hood Research does, and scrutinize these individuals, because like it or not, they will make decisions over, well, we hope they'll make decisions. We still don't know if the shepherd's going to let the sheep do what they want. But some people are opportunists looking for jobs. Others may have a very valid and sincere interest to represent the people. So make it a point that you're registered, people in your household are registered, because August 3rd will be here before you know it.
Absolutely. Not only that, the middle of June will be here before August 3rd, and 6 weeks in advance, ballots start going out. And that's because of the absentee voting. Now, also, I'd like to add to what you have just shared, and that is to talk about protesters. Protesters are a good thing because we have so many peaceful protesters here, and they have ideas. They want things to change. We want things to change, particularly to help us have a better quality of life in the city of Detroit, county of Wayne, state of Michigan, and the United States. But protesters have so much energy. They're so concerned, and they don't mind going and standing at the police headquarters or at a church steps or whatever building is representative of the issue for which they are protesting. But you know, I would like to see the protesters in addition to, not instead of. I'm not saying they should stop protesting. Not at all. Continue to have your peaceful protest. That's fine. But please use some of that energy to help people get registered to vote, to encourage people to register to vote, to take people to vote, and to make sure you vote yourself. Because the elected officials are the ones who can make those policy changes that you're protesting for. The elected officials are the ones who can change the laws that you're protesting for. The elected officials. Therefore, as you protest, desiring changes in policy, desiring changes in laws, ordinances, codes, and attitudes, please use some of that energy to register to vote, to help others register to vote, to take them to vote, encourage people to vote, and to vote yourself.
And it's extremely critical now. Many of you know that over 40 states are trying to institute forms of voter suppression, which include Michigan itself. So now many people still dismiss the value of their vote, but don't understand that those who don't want you to vote understand the value of your vote. That's why they want to suppress it. Now you have to understand the value of your vote and exercise that right. As I've said before, let's just say there was an election once a year, which is not, but let's just say that for the sake of conversation. There are 365 days in a year. There's over 8,000 hours, I believe, 8,600 hours in a year, something to that extent. All we're asking you to do out of that 8,600 some hours is just take an hour. So you still have 8,600 and some odd hours to do whatever you want.
That's right.
You just sacrifice 1 hour for your benefit. So if it only happened once a year and all you had to do is take 1 hour out of that year, that's not much of a sacrifice, because you still, it's not 50% of your time, it's not 25%, it's less than 1% when you look at it. And since these people are trying to suppress our vote, Georgia showed them with Stacey Abrams spearheading everything, they turn a red state into a blue state. That's the power of it. They were able to get President Biden in. They were able to get 2 senators from Georgia. The Republicans don't play. Democrats play too much, but Republicans don't play. They are very dead serious, and they are point on when it comes to their message. We try to see if we can get some Republicans to come along. They're not trying to get us to come along. So again, as Theo said, and I have to emphasize this over and over again, because every day we're going to get closer and it'll sneak up on you and you'll wonder why you weren't there on time. Get everyone in your household ready. Of course, we don't have the glamour of the presidential, elections going on where you have all this fervor. But all politics, Steele said this before, is local, because these are the people that make the ordinances, the laws, and other things that affect your daily life. It's not happening in D.C. It's happening right here in our own environment. So I just think it's critical.
Exactly.
And the charter is on the ballot, and this is an extremely important thing for you to be aware of, because there's so many different things that have locked citizens out that this charter revision will make possible for you. This is for you. This is not for them. This is for you. So we have to act in our own interest.
Right. Absolutely. And for the young people who are watching, there are so many at home now because of virtual learning and buildings being shut down, including schools being shut down. Just in case they don't know, suppression, that means to stop as many black folk as possible from voting. To stop as many. As you may remember, on Election Day in November of last year, the President of the United States, Joe Biden, was put in office. And the President of the United States, Joe Biden, stated that the black community was responsible for getting him over the finish line. The black community was responsible for getting him over the finish line. That's one of the reasons why the legislators in the various states are trying to change laws that will make it extremely difficult. Thabiti, I was amazed to hear that they were passing a law that says if we're standing in line ready to vote and you give us water because we seem to be so thirsty, that was a felony. A felony? You could go to prison for giving a voter water? Man, I mean, that's what you call not just systemic racism, but hatred from the pit of hell. Pure hatred from the pit of hell.
And it's interesting. One of the things I'm glad that was said during the president's speech during the his first 100 days is critical. They have H.R. 1 and H.R. 4, which are the George Floyd bill and the John Lewis bill. One's protect our voting rights, and the other is to get more control over police. But let's deal with the John Lewis bill for voting. One, I'm glad he addressed it, because that's a daring move. sometimes politicians try to be conciliatory. They want to seem like, you know, we're working with both sides of the aisle and all that blarney. But just for the sake of it, they are suppressing the vote, and to use tactics like that, I'm hoping that it's overridden. But if we can get on our representatives and let people in states that you live in do the same thing, get on their their national senators and representatives, let them know, hey, look, you know, we want this to pass. We do have this one guy in West Virginia, Joe Manchin. He seems to be a roadblock. We got 49 Democrats on board, and he seems to be the one that wants to be the outlier. And along with that, from what I understand, he's in a heavily Republican district, so he's trying to appease them, but he's not trying to do the right thing. So we have to sweat this guy or get him out, one or the other.
Yes, yes.
Because he's definitely, and so he has more power, as they said, than the vice president, because she's already in line with the tiebreaker, but he's going to be the one that decides, well, you know, we need to look over this bill a little bit more, as if the Republicans ever thought about that for Democrats.
Hey, right. Oh, man, you know, I have a poster child. And the poster child's name, you may have heard me say this before, is Andy Dillon. Now, Joe Manchin may be the poster child in, you say, Virginia?
West Virginia, yes.
West Virginia. Well, once upon a time, Andy Dillon wanted to run for office. Andy Dillon was living in Redford, Michigan. And he went out and he told everybody, I'm a Republican, I want you to vote for me. And like, nah, Redford, Michigan is predominantly a Democratic town. So, of course, Andy Dillon lost. He was determined. He went out again. I'm Andy Dillon, I'm a Republican, and I'm going to do this, and this, vote for me. And like, he must be crazy. We don't vote for Republicans in Redford, Michigan. What's wrong with him? Well, another election came around, and Andy Dillon decided that he would take off his Republican clothes and put on Democratic clothes, and he went out and he said, hey, look me over, lend me a vote. I'm Andy Dillon, a Democrat, and I want to be elected. They said, yay, hey, did you hear about that guy who's running over there? His name is Andy Dillon. He's a Democrat, and you know we vote for Democrats around here in Redford, Michigan. You know what? He won. He won. He won. They thought, the voters in Redford, Michigan, that they had a new Democrat in office who was going to do great things for Redford, Michigan. Well, not long after that, a man by the name of Snyder, you know, Snyder rhymes with spider. Snyder gets elected governor of the state of Michigan, and guess what? He looked over in Redford, Michigan, little old Redford, Michigan, small population of people, and he said, hey, Andy, you talking to me? Yes. Come on to Lansing. I am going to make you the treasurer of the whole state of Michigan. And they said, really? Come on to Lansing. I'm going to make you treasurer of the whole state of Michigan. Andy Dillon said, oh, wow, yeah. Oh, wait. Oh, take off these clothes and go to Lansing. He took off his Democratic masquerade. Went to Lansing. Look at me. You didn't know, but I am really a Republican. And now I'm the treasurer of the state of Michigan. What? The folks in Redford like, They had been duped. So I'm thinking that this person in West Virginia just may be the poster child. He just may be. I'm a Democrat, guys. Vote for me. And they voted for him, but he really is not a Democrat. You have to vote out for those, look out for those types. Look out for those types.
And I would add, as we go into our first break, that we have to be mindful that, and I've always said, there's a track record that needs to be looked at. And the people in Redford were duped only because they dropped their guard. If he was a Republican twice and he became a Democrat, that should have sent up so many, as they say, signals, red signals or whatever they call that this man is not legit, and just the fact that he was swapped. But we want you to stay tuned, and of course the numbers were there, and again, have your pen and paper handy, and we will see you on the other side of the break.
Good morning, Michael.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
This is Theo Broden from Feedback. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Hey there, it's me, Butter, with my new book, The Many Adventures of These Nuts. Let's be nuts about our health. Join me and my friends, Wally Walnut, Almond Cruz, Pumpkin Spice, Chica Cheminsky, Morgan Raisin, and Hallie Cranberry, here with rhythm and song to share a fun way to stay safe and healthy. So together we can all be nuts about our health. Ebook available now on Amazon, or get a hardcover copy at www.thesenutstrailmix.com. That's nuts with a Z.
This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit ombudsman. I am here to address all of your complaints and concerns. If you need assistance regarding city services, please contact my office at 313-224-6000 or contact us via email at ombudsman@detroitmi.gov. This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit ombudsman.
I'm James Ford, founder of the Obama Weekend, and a partner of the Hood Research Team, composed of the knowledgeable Theo Broden, the super analyst Henry, and the colorful Al Martin. This team discusses politics, seen and not seen, at the national, state, and local level. But to enhance the goals of this team, join or donate to Hood Research by visiting Twitter or Facebook, or visit hoodresearch.org, or call 248-234-2371. You can also join Hood Research on Phonecast every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by calling 978-990-5000, access code 338729. Thank you very much.
How you see the world is everything.
Oh my God, girl, you take all day.
Oh, hi.
How you doing, Luna?
The people you trust.
Stay safe.
Your community.
You rolling with the pain today.
I'm gonna show you how it's done, Pain.
In the best and the worst times.
Ma'am, stop! Hola, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien.
I see myself
Gracias.
in the people I serve.
Hi.
Officer Luna, Officer Luna.
Sweet. Girl, you know you can do my job, right?
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broden,
And I am the BD Impinda.
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for Feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. Hood Research is a community-based organization that believes that people would do better if they knew better. We encourage all to join us, to work with us, to help get the words out, to help get people to come out and vote. It was just amazing to hear that so many states in the United States don't want us to vote. Imagine that. They've been taking up drop boxes. Whereas you may have had 25 drop boxes throughout the community, now they only want one, if that. So we have to stand up, speak up, fight. And know that each Saturday from 2 until 6 p.m., Hood Research has a phone conference. And again, you don't have to leave your easy chair, your bed, your recliner in the backyard, or your home. Just pick up the phone and dial 1-978-990-5000. And the access code is 338-729. Press the pound key and you'll hear us talking. And you can join the conversation. You can share any information that you have heard. You can ask questions. You can hear speakers. And it's a fun afternoon. You're invited to join Hood Research each Saturday from 2 until 6. You don't even have to stay the whole time. You can come on at 2, leave at 3:15. Or you could come on at 3:20 and stay till 5. Whatever fits into your schedule. But come. We enjoy each Saturday from 2 until 6. And you know, Thabiti, we started the 9th of May, 2020, because people were experiencing some strange feelings, anger, boredom. But it was the feeling of depression that is the impetus of our Saturday afternoons with Hood Research. And we've been enjoying it. And we've got a lot of positive response from it each Saturday. Just dial 1-978-990-5000. And once again, the access code is 338-729. Press the pound key. Some people call it a hashtag. Some people call it a tic-tac-toe sign. Well, whatever you call it, press it and join the conversation.
And let me just add, because as she said, there are some social and psychological factors that we're experiencing because of the COVID. So we're more isolated than we were before. We can't get out because the meetings themselves, when we were in person, they were the bomb. But this is also the same thing. We need to be able to, we're social creatures, and it's necessary for us to socialize. And it's also a way to vent, to share, and learning is a beautiful thing. It enriches all of us. So when you're listening and participating, you can take this information and then share it with people you know, because the whole purpose is to spread knowledge and information. As Theo always says, people would do better if they knew better. Well, if you know, then you can help the person next door to you, the person who's in the fence behind you, family members, when you might get together for someone's birthday, say, guess what I heard on Hood Research, or what I was a part of, and it makes you a fuller person. And that's what we should all strive for, just on a daily basis, to become fuller people, to become more knowledgeable. We can entertain ourselves anytime because everything's on demand now, so you don't have to wait for nothing.
That's right.
Well, WHPR is on demand too.
Hey, that's right. And we're here each and every Monday at 9 a.m. for an hour and a half. And you too, whatever is on your mind, you could even call in right now, 868-4336. 868-4336, anytime.
Now, you said something earlier in the first half of the show, Theo, that I want people to kind of keep in mind. You used the phrase systemic racism. Now, I bring that up because if any of you saw the president give his speech on how things were going the first 100 days, of course, the Republicans gave a rebuttal, and they used Tim Scott.
Uncle Tim.
Yeah, Negro senator from South Carolina, Lindsey Graham's boy, and he said that America is not racist, but also within the context of his rebuttal, he said that he's experienced being stopped and followed through the store. So you can't get any more contradictory than that. And the Buddha said, and I listen to an awful lot of. The Buddha said that contradiction is the lowest form of intelligence. So he said that we're not racist, and then he said that he experienced racism. Well, Mr. Tim, which is it? Do you know? And not our wonderful Tim, the engineer. We're talking about Tim Scott from South Carolina.
That's right, Uncle Tim. You know, I have. God, it gets worse by the second. You know. It appears that because of systemic racism, the term Uncle Tom was used as propaganda. Tom was not a negative person. And I think that Uncle Tom's Cabin, a book written by Harriet Beecher Stowe, should be required reading. Because if you were to read that book, then you would find out who Tom really was. And he was the strongest, most caring, and a man who was full of integrity in that book, you found out. But as the years went on, it seems that whites resented that, and they decided to make Uncle Tom a negative character. And, of course, it has stuck today, unfortunately. But I think that Uncle Tom has earned his own title. And we should move from Uncle Tom to Uncle Tim.
Yeah, let us make that the new phrase for one who is not loyal to their own racial group, in particular our group. And I have to say, you know, somebody has said, man, I don't think they were saying it in defense of Uncle Tim, but they were saying, well, you know, he's surrounded by Klan. He didn't even write that speech. He just read a teleprompter speech that the Republicans had already drafted for him, because no matter what, they were going to be contrary. And they used him as the stooge to deliver that message because it would seem more appealing coming from a black guy. And someone says that he has aspirations of being president. Uncle Tim, it ain't going to happen. You can forget that.
Absolutely. I second that emotion for sure, for sure. And, you know, I listened to Michael Imhotep, who has been a guest on this show with us. He does a lot of historical research. And he was saying that the jockeys, horse racing became a sport in this country. And he was saying that the whites were so full of hate that they decided to take over. I immediately thought about the lottery versus street numbers. I immediately thought about that. And it got so bad that when the whites would ride the horses in the races, they would edge over to the one that had the black jockey on it and bump the horse to make them lose stride, or come over on them enough so that the horse would go right to the rails, the guard rails, and the jockey's legs would get scraped. Then it got even worse because of systemic racism. A union was formed. Imagine that. A union for jockeys to have representation? No. A union was to keep the black jockeys out so they would not have representation. I had already known that it was a black man that invented horseback riding. But there were just so many more details that Michael Imhotep shared that I found extremely interesting. Extremely interesting. And it also made me think about Henry Ford. Henry Ford. Henry Ford was a man who worked with a minister here in Detroit who went down to Alabama in particular to recruit workers for Henry Ford's factory. And many black people came to Detroit from Alabama. And the whites decided, oh, please, we don't want this. So they established a union. Oh, glory be. And it wasn't for everybody to have representation. It was to keep blacks out. Of course, over time, as you know, blacks did join the union. And their representation did improve over time. But of course, the benefits for blacks has not evolved to the point where you say, we made it. No, we still have to struggle for a better quality of life in a country that should be a better quality country.
You know, it's interesting when you mention union, because when I got into the electrical union, one of the guys, as an apprentice, you have journeymen who teach you, various journeymen over the 4-year period of the apprenticeship. And one of the Caucasian journeyman I had, it was interesting what he told me. One thing about myself, I tried to carry myself in a way where I wasn't going to be, you know, shucking and grinning and all that kind of black man, because that just wasn't in my nature, although I did work around them, and it kind of disturbed my spirit, but there's nothing I could do. But what the journeyman said to me, he says, the BD, he says, not only were we trying to keep y'all out of the union and out of the trade, skilled trades, because they knew it was a lot of money. He says, but we kept other whites out. He said when they started, because the union is over 100 years old, he says we wouldn't even let other Caucasians in. He said all we wanted to do is have our brothers, uncles, nephews. We try to keep it a family thing. But of course, through evolving, it eventually let other Caucasians in. And then, you know, because of things that were going on in the 50s and 60s in terms of civil rights struggle, that we eventually got. He said, yeah, but we didn't even want other whites in, because we were trying, you know, they was doing good money wise. It's a lucrative career. Matter of fact, any skilled trades for that matter. But he was frank enough, and I always established relationships with the Caucasians I work with where they knew where I stood, and so therefore they respected me. They weren't telling any of those off color, well, there was a black guy, a Jew, and a Mexican coming to thing. They, you know, other guys I work with would tolerate that. I didn't even sit at the lunch table with them. I'm like, no, I'm not going to sit here and listen to these kind of jokes and laugh like it's funny, because it's not.
Right.
But yeah, they did, when you mention unions, like you say, they set them up where we could not be in there. And if we did get in there, getting a position as a steward or something was even an incredible. You had to be Hercules to become a steward.
Right.
Or you had to be Uncle Tim.
Uncle Tim, oh Lord help us. Yes. Wow. And the unions did evolve to a more beneficial point, but they still need evolution, shall we say? They need to be worked on. But for people not to understand systemic racism, you know, that's just amazing. It really is amazing for anybody.
Yeah, how could you be? I mean, just your presence alone, you wake up and you know, once as an African American, even with the Latin community, or Hispanic community rather now, you know, when you wake up and walk out, that not only are you dealing with the fears of law enforcement, but you know, when you go into a Target, a TJ Maxx, or wherever you may shop at, that you're under scrutiny immediately. I used to say, Theo, and this is because as I said, I had, you know, good and still have good relationship with Caucasians. I said one day I would go in and just maybe in a store behave suspiciously and have my Caucasian counterpart just rip them off because they're going to be watching me so much he can get everything on. Then we get out, we can, I'm being facetious, of course, but I say, yeah, then we can, split the spoils up. But I say, yeah, man, they're going to be watching me. So why don't you go in there and you go in this area and that area and you do that, because I'll be a distraction. And but that's just how we're living.
That's
we know
right.
that we are under scrutiny from the time we walk out that door to the time we get back into our homes, because anyone we may see who is not of us, and this is not to throw a blanket, of course, over all, but we know that there's enough of them out there, as you have said, Theo, yourself, and it's true. They've infiltrated the police force. They're lawyers now. They're judges. Of course, with all those that are 45 appointed, we already know where their mind is. When you stand in front of the court, you know that you're automatically going to be looked at. They see your color before they see your humanity.
That's right. That's right. And the kind of thing that foster that are the activities within our community as well. I'm not against rap. As a matter of fact, I can rap. But what I am against is a vulgar language in these rap songs. And sadly, when you pull up to a red light at an intersection and another vehicle pulls up next to you and their music is so loud that the vibrations are rocking that vehicle and it's starting to rock yours, you're like, oh my goodness, what is going on? But I think one reason why our parents and caregivers don't really say anything, because they don't know what the heck is being said. When a vehicle pulls up next to me, I'm like, huh? Because it's not really audible. And there's a rapper whose name I can't think of right now who says, yeah, he said there are rappers and then there are mumble rappers. This is the kind that you hear, but then the music is good, so you kind of move to the music. But I don't know what the heck he said, But the negative rap, getting back to the Grammys that was held last month, the presentation of the guy who calls himself the Baby was interesting. He had on all white as if he was an angel. And with the baton, he led the orchestra, and he had two ladies, one on each side, playing the violin. And I'm like, what kind of rap is that? But they were very careful not to let you hear the language of the rap song that he has done, and it's got millions of views too. But within the rap song, he continues to do the negative, the neglect, that word, all through the song. And in addition to that, he somewhere a few lines, spray the block. And so, like I say, parents and caregivers don't think anything with that, because what may come to their mind is, oh, he's encouraging you to go out and water your neighbor's grass. That is so far from the truth. The translation of spray the block. Spray the block means to go on the street and kill every black person you see. Kill every black person you see. That's what spray the block is referring to. But yet, the Grammys gave this man an award, so it seems to me they were practicing systemic racism themselves, because the music industry, that means the folks in control, the ones that pay the cost to be the boss, okay, are telling the rappers, the more negative you can make it, the more money I'll pay you, because we're going to put it out in the community. And that encourages the people in the community You know, they like to imitate. Young people like to imitate.
Your life imitating art.
Mm-hmm.
And what's unfortunate as well is that because and these radio stations, we already know about payola, where they're paid to keep certain songs in rotation. And I do listen to them every now and then because you have to kind of monitor what's going on. But the interesting thing about it is that as well is that after it's been played repeatedly, that it goes from the conscious to the subconscious. So sometimes people will act out something and they don't even know why they do it, but the seed's been planted so deep through repetition. I remember when I was working, I worked around some young folks, and I had, they had their radio, because they had the boom box, so we kind of listened to that on the job. They wouldn't allow individual headsets.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like Lil Wayne, who was no role model by any stretch, but I had heard his song so much because it was playing repeatedly on this radio station that I actually knew most of the words to it. And not because I desired to know the words, it's just because it was repeated. And as you said, not only are they encouraging violence, but definitely drug and liquor abuse and sexual abuse of women, and the misogynistic, demeaning, degrading terms that they use for women. After you've heard them so many times, as they say, things become normalized. It's very unfortunate. And that's something we have to be aware of. As they say, parents don't generally want to, feel like they're crossing over or going beyond bounds, trying to find out what their children are listening to. You better find out what your children are listening to, because some of that may even encourage, well, if mama don't say nothing right, smack her with your left or something like that. You never know where it's going to lead to, because once you start opening up Pandora's box, so to speak, anything might come out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact, like you said, Theo, spray our block. Well, there's guys who've listened to that enough, and they've got a 9mm Uzi or whatever they may have. They will go out there imitate it because they've heard it so much. They think, yeah, man, that's what I'm gonna do, man. They stepped on my shoes, man. We're going back and spray the block.
Right. And so it's incumbent upon all of us to learn the slang that is being used today. The slang that is being used today, and that is negative, that is encouraging our young people to imitate, needs to be known, and we need to work to stamp it out. And getting back to this Grammys, as it went on, it got worse, because there's a woman called Megan Thee Stallion has a song, and she looked very nice when she came out on stage. But as she performed, she got worse and worse and worse. She kept going deeper and deeper into this ditch. And she got so tough, she talked about, I don't need a pimp to put me out on the street and make my money. I can make my money myself by pimping my own stuff in between my legs. I do it myself. And I'm like, God, what is she teaching the young people? But again, because of systemic racism, the music industry, that means the ones who pay the cost to be the boss, want this kind of image out there because it works to dehumanize black people. It works to just undermine the character of the black community. This kind of imaging, this kind of disrespect for the black community is done by a small percentage of black folks. A small percentage of black folk. But yet, our young people want to imitate them. Our young people, too, want to look like that. So, just marinate on that. And we are coming up on the top of the hour break for station identification. And we'll be back momentarily.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Thabiti Mpinda from the Feedback Program. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit Ombudsman. I am here to address all of your complaints and concerns. If you need assistance regarding city services, please contact my office at 313-224-6000 or contact us via email at ombudsman@detroitmi.gov. This is Bruce Simpson, your City of Detroit Ombudsman.
I'm James Ford, founder of the Obama Weekend, and a partner of the Hood Research Team, composed of the knowledgeable Theo Broden, the super analyst Henry, and the colorful Al Martin. This team discusses politics, seen and not seen, at the national, state, and local level. But to enhance the goals of this team, join or donate to Hood Research by visiting Twitter or Facebook, or visit hoodresearch.org, or call 248-234-2371. You can also join Hood Research on Phonecast every Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time by calling 978-990-5000, access code 338729. Thank you very much.
Hey there, it's me, Butter, with my new book, The Many Adventures of These Nuts. Let's be nuts about our health. Join me and my friends, Wally Walnut, Almond Cruz, Pumpkin Spice, Chica Cheminsky, Morgan Raisin, and Hallie Cranberry, here with rhythm and song to share a fun way to stay safe and healthy. So together we can all be nuts about our health. Ebook available now on Amazon, or get a hardcover copy at www.thesenutstrailmix.com. That's nuts with a Z.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
FM 88.1 WHPR, Highland Park. WVIE 107.3 FM Charlotte, Amalia, Virgin Islands.
Feedback. Hi, this is Theo Broten,
And I am Thabiti Mpinda.
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
A positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV. Watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you. You know, WHBR can be downloaded. All you have to do is go to the App Store for those of you who can go to the App Store. But for those of you who have that computer sitting in the corner, in a box, in the dark, and the computer saying, help me, take me out, learn to use me. There's so much going on around the world that you can learn about on your computer. This is where I must tell you that Wayne County Community College has free computer classes for anybody who is 60 years of age or older. Everyone who is 60 years of age and older can take free classes at Wayne County Community College. Yeah. Didn't know that, did you? Now, they have other classes that you can take if you're 60 years of age and older as well. So know that we have a jewel right here in our community. There are 3 outlets. You call them outlets? You don't call them outlets.
Campuses.
Thank you. That's a good word. 3 campuses inside the city of Detroit and 3 outside the city of Detroit. But for the campuses that are inside Detroit, you have one on Outer Drive in the Southfield Freeway. Beautiful campus. You have another one on the east side of Detroit, right across from the city airport, now known as the Coleman Young International Airport. Wayne County Community College is right across from there. It's on I-94 and Connor. I-94 and Connor. That's the exit you take. If you want to fly the friendly skies, you bear to the left. If you want to go to Wayne County Community College, you bear to the right on Connor, and it's right there. And the third campus in Detroit is the main campus, which is on Fort Street. Fort Street, right near the main post office, right near there. But we have a jewel in Wayne County Community College, and you can take these classes free. Free.
And I would add that I have taken classes at all 3 campuses that are in the city, and one that was in Belleville as well. So I've attended class at 4 of the 6 campuses that they have. And I went for, I didn't go for the free computer class because I had a grasp of that, but they also gave free classes for seniors and others where you could learn to use YouTube. So once you learn how to use the computer, they gave other classes where you could learn Microsoft Excel if you were into like some of the business programs that they have. They're all free, mind you. They had the YouTube class where you could learn how to upload and download different videos from YouTube. It's truly a jewel, and it's a resource in our community. And it has defrayed the cost for many who went on to 4-year institutions to get their bachelor's degree. And my daughter, one of whom got her associate's degree there, and then went on to a 4-year university and got her bachelor's degree. So she's got 2 degrees. I wish I'd have thought about that when I was going to school, and it's never too late to go to school. So that's why we encourage seniors to take advantage of that. And then you're in in an environment where you have other people who are like you, you can relate to them, maybe you're a retiree or something. So you have all those advantages of being in a community of people who are more or less in your age range. You're helping each other. You get a chance to socialize. So and there's no cost. We can't emphasize that enough. There's no cost. So there's not many things you're going to get free in life besides the air you're breathing, and there's no cost to that yet. But if you can learn for free, and then just the doors that it opens up, because many people, and many of you know now that many people, because of the pandemic, have had to do more online things. So they may be doing online shopping or taking care of Secretary of State, you name it. And those things require a certain amount of computer skills. That phone you have in your hand, many of you, especially those who have smartphones, that's a computer for you. You can Google anything in the world, and believe me, I've been Googling some crazy stuff just because out of curiosity. How tall is so-and-so? How rich is so-and-so? Didn't put no money in my pocket, but just out of curiosity. So learning is supposed to be from the cradle to the grave. We don't stop just because we get out of school, we graduate, get our diploma or our degree or something like that. Learning never stops because there's, I've often said this to myself, Theo, when I look at just my own personal library, I got 500 to 600 books. But let's say you go to one of the libraries and there are there's only a fraction, I think only 1/3 of them open now. But when you think about all those books in there, let that be a suggestion to you of all the stuff you don't know. And we'll never be able to read every book in the library, which means that we should be trying to constantly feed our mind. And we're going to let this caller come in and feed our mind as well.
All right.
Hello, caller. You're on the air. Would you share your name and how you're viewing us, please? Okay, don't be shy. They hung up, but if you feel free, and the numbers again, we're there for everyone, but it's necessary for us to feed our mind. Think of how resourceful you can be and how much help you can give to others because of knowledge. Knowledge is incredibly powerful. And the last thing I'll say on that note, and all of us know who have studied, that they didn't want us to read or write, just like they don't want us to vote. That shows you how valuable that is.
And they're trying to go back in time. You know, it was illegal to teach black folks how to read. And they found it out, everybody got punished, you know. And and this woman, you know what I want to say first? You know, many of the rappers are in their 40s and 50s. Did you know that? In their 40s and 50s. These are not kids rapping. These are grown folks, 40 and 50, been grown for a while too. 40s, and I kept saying 40s and 50s. Oh my goodness. And yet they are agreeing to saturate our community with negative images, negative words, negative sentences, and negative acts, even when they perform. And this woman, getting back to her again, Megan Thee Stallion, at the Grammys, as I said, she kept going deeper and deeper into the gutter. She, next thing you know, was on a bed with another rapper, and she was humping on her. We talking about women? She was humping over her like she was a man. I mean, just sick.
Graphic.
Yes. And the syndicated media, those in the music industry who pay the cost to be the boss, who want as much negativity involved as the rappers can possibly provide, are using this to make others think that all of us are like that. All of us are not like that, are not negative, are not trying to pimp themselves, are not trying to sell drugs and do many of the other negative acts that are out there.
And they would, I hate to say, maybe in a sense, are selling their souls for money. It's sort of like, I guess you look at Judas betraying Jesus. They're betraying our community by the negative images, and they don't live the life that they're rapping about. But they put that out there on Front Street, and unfortunately, we have a generation, a small percentage of the generation, because the other ones, we don't highlight the young Nigerian girl who was the math prodigy, won the math contest for the world. We don't highlight as much as we should, or keep in the spotlight those who are on a stellar level when it comes to achievement. But we're going to see Megan Thee Stallion, Cardi B, and many of these others who, Nicki Minaj, who have no morality about what they do. None at all.
And this young African girl, what is she, 15? Is that the one?
Yes.
15 years old. Very accomplished at 15 years old. And there are many more of our young people who could be recognized for their accomplishments if we would only have parents and caregivers and those who love them to say protest. See, that's for something good. Justin started for something good.
And we have to, one of the things we can't allow, that's why WHPR is one of the few jewels that we have in terms of platforms and being able to communicate, because we have to give our own message. As we know, the mainstream media, Fox, etc., are not going to do it. If you know, we might luck up on every now and then some good vibe story that they might put out, but that's only coming out one time. But let it be something negative. That stuff's going to happen on a regular basis. So we have to be the ones who deliver the word to our community, because mainstream media is not going to get anything. Matter of fact, it's not in their interest to promote anything that's positive in our community. It serves them no interest at all. And I guess as Sly Soul mentioned one time when she called in on our show, she said, if it bleeds, it leads. All they want to do is, if it's something negative, okay, let's put that out there. And if it's something negative for blacks in particular, but non-whites in general, they're going to make headlines of that. So it's up to us to deliver that message. And one of the things, I got to say this because I've been feeling this way for a while. Now, I don't know how brilliant certain young brothers I might encounter are, but the one thing that keeps me from communicating with them, where we can't develop because I know their lingo too, like you were saying, it's important to know the words that they're using. But one of the things that I make it a point is like, young brother, if you don't pull your pants up and act like a man, there's no way I can engage you in a conversation, because just the way you carry yourself is a turnoff for me. I can't make you do nothing because you already feel like you're a man anyway, so you're going to resist what I say. But if you want to approach me, then you have to approach me as I would approach my fathers, my elders, my peers. You have to have that same thing. You can't say, well, I got a degree in this. Yeah, but you got your pants down, man. That doesn't reflect any intelligence to me. So how are we going to have a conversation when you think it's all right for me to know that you got Fruit of the Looms on? I don't care. We got to change that narrative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Understanding what is being done in all of these states is a wake-up call. A true wake-up call to how the syndicated media is putting out propaganda for the purpose of destroying our people. There was a man who authored a book called Two Nations, Separate and Unequal. His name is Andrew Hacker, and the book came out in 1984. And it's still true today. But he had a visual of a totem pole, and on top of the totem pole was whites, and the totem pole was to let you know how people are getting paid. And the one who gets the most is the white male. Next under the white male is the white female. Next under the white female is the black female, and next under her is the black male. So they spend a lot of time, those in the syndicated media, with the advertising firms, to come up with ways by which we are diminished and made to look bad. But yet the other group is working with the Republicans. Oh man, they make it ridiculous.
And let me just suggest this to listeners and viewers. One of the things also I look at is, who do they have in their commercials when we just look at television in general? Do they have a diverse group of people representing their projects? Because there's one, I won't say the name of the company, but they have awnings that you can have added to your house. In all those commercials, I never saw one black family at all. So I told myself, I say, well, why would I want to spend money with you and you won't spend money? Because there's black actors and actresses out there who are ready, do voiceovers, who do these ads. How come you can't have somebody from my community that looks like me in your commercials? If you can't do that, then why should I give you my money?
Right.
And then I'm smiling when your people come. Not only you don't have us in the commercial, but you probably don't have people who are working in your business as well behind the scenes, putting together these products or items. So why should I patronize you when you don't even see fit? And this gets to what Byron Allen was saying when him and some other people were protesting that, and I want to say Governor Whitmer, but what they said basically was that they weren't getting the advertising dollars for black media, and I just let our engineer know that the doorbell ringeth, but they weren't letting black media outlets, whether they're newspaper, print, or electronic, get in on some of the budgets. They get less than 1% of the budget, but we're paying taxes like everyone else. So that's why I say I monitor these commercials. And one of the things I intend to do, and I just suggest this to the viewers and listeners, is that they have email addresses for all of these businesses. Let them know, I would deal with your product. Now, I would do this on a sly Theo myself. I would say, hey, look, I would deal with your product, but I never see any people of color in your thing. So what I did is I just decided to spend my money with your competitor. Whether I did it or not, just to plant that seed in their mind.
Well, just as you say that, there are others who think the same way. And there are still others who think the same way, but they won't follow through and do something that will bring it to the manufacturer's attention. There may be one who would speak out positively and on our behalf. But one versus thousands who are spending their time to make us look negative, to make us look as if we are trying to undermine them, and we're not. It's an open, honest, and fair election. That's what we want, an open, honest, and fair election.
And I guess they speak of the original sin of America. Actually, it's two sins. One, the genocide of the Native American, and the second, the kidnapping and enslavement of Africans. And I had a little Facebook battle, Theo, with this guy, and he was just trying to diminish. He said, well, basically he didn't want to accept the fact that blacks had a certain humanity because he came up in he's Caucasian. He came up in a white superiority minded nation, so he's got that mindset, And I gave, I always, with me, I'm only going to battle so long. But one of the things I always say, Theo, and this is something that once I say it, I kind of shut them down. And it's good when you can shut somebody down, because if you leave them without something to say, that means you got your point across. I tell them, I say, well, look, the first country mentioned in the Bible was Cush, which is Ethiopia, Genesis 2:13. I said, now don't be mad at me. I didn't write the book. I didn't write the Bible. I'm just telling you that it's in the Bible. I say, so the first country mentioned was Ethiopia, which is Cush. I say, that's an African continent. I say the second country mentioned was Egypt, which is also on the African continent. So what does that tell you about the people who were in the Bible? They can't say nothing about that. I say, look, I didn't write the book, so you don't get no attitude with me, but I say, that's it. So I say, understand your place on the historical timeline and understand who Jesus and whomever else was. So, but like I say, I just deal with facts. That's what Hood Research does. We get facts for you. We don't mess around with our opinions and speculations. Now, you can accept or reject the fact, but again, I didn't write those books, so that means Moses, if he was Egypt, he was African. If Jesus, also known as Yeshua, was in there, he was in Egypt, then he wasn't white. We know that. He didn't come from Greece. He didn't come from Rome, and he sure didn't come no further north than that, because he definitely would have been a standout. So sometimes, and they have to respect it. But I've heard others, Caucasians say, rightly so, they say, yeah, well, we know he wasn't white, but still we dealing with Michelangelo and his cousin on the Sistine Chapel, and so we buy into that imagery, and that's the one thing I wanted to say lastly, Theo. The images we see, unfortunately, they penetrate our subconscious. We believe them, and the words that we hear that we don't do research on also penetrates it. And so we just go about like a parrot repeating what we heard.
Therefore, as Bob Lawrence say, I love it. Therefore, it would be incumbent upon those who practice systemic racism to begin with history. 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 Let's talk about the education in the school system across these United States. When I said early on about that poem about Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean blue in 1492, and all these little things are used to help children memorize what those who practice systemic racism want to hear as facts. Now, today, I think most of the people know Christopher Columbus may have sailed the ocean blue, but he didn't come to these United States. He never came here. But the history that's being taught to our little children is that he did. So, if they would start with the history, education system, to teach the children the facts, as you say, not alternate facts, but the real facts, the real truth, it would make it a lot easier for all ethnic groups to socialize, to work together, to change things, as opposed to clawing like what is this? Crabs in a barrel. That was the saying. Yeah. So the education, history in particular, needs to be told accurately. And that's to help our young people learn, help them understand, help them to know the things that you were just talking about are true.
There was a saying, and I think Bob Law said this one too, since we bring Bob into, he said that if we knew who we would respect ourselves and each other more, and if they knew who we were, then they would have to learn to respect us for what we've done. But because of miseducation of the black man and woman, and we've been told, like you say, good old Columbus never set foot here. He got to the islands, that was about it. But if you can tell a lie long enough, let me see. Flip Wilson said something too. Always, like he said, a lie is as good as the truth if you can get somebody to believe it. That's dangerous as well, but it makes a lot of sense.
And that's what the last president was trying to do. He was telling a lie about the fact that he said he won the election, and he was getting some of his followers to believe it. That's sad.
And I heard someone doing an interview, it was a Caucasian on one of the comedy shows, which I really like because they just kind of get straight to it. This Caucasian, Jordan Klepper, he was interviewing a lot of people who were at some of the Trump rallies, and he had said, well, you said it's in the Constitution, and he would ask the people, did you read the Constitution? He says, very sure. They say, no. And then he says, okay, he says, you agree we should read, right? And they say, yes. He said, but did you read the Constitution? He said, nope. He says, okay, so what are you basing your beliefs on? Well, the president said it, referring to 45, so that's good enough for me. I was just thinking, he says, but the guy also said, I'm not a sheep, you know. But and then the guy asked me, he says, so, but you agree we need to know what's in there, right? He says, yeah, but you haven't read it, right? You know, and he was going at him, but the guy knew how stupid he was sounding when he answered the question. But he says, yeah, well, you know, if the president said that's good enough for me, no, it's not.
That was a very good point when you said a lie. How does it go? A lie is
as good as the truth if you can get somebody to believe it.
Right? If you can get somebody to believe it. But one thing that we need to begin to realize that the history is full of lies, and it needs to be corrected. And our superintendents all over the country actually need to work on correcting them. There are teachers, some here and there, who will bring documents to school showing the truth. And I like to commend them for that. It's a good thing, and we do need a lot of that to take place.
One of the things, Dick Gregory did a book many years ago called No More Lies, where he was dispelling a lot of the things that we have been taught, so that well, I guess it would be just a balance of what is true and what is fictional. But of course, there's a preservation of this idea of superiority, and I say, and it's a fake superiority, because y'all ain't never really been better than nobody. I mean, it's all right to live in a delusional world. That's where 45 lived in a delusional world. But you never really been better than nobody, perhaps equal on some levels, but not superior, and not, especially not because of skin tone. That's just, that's ridiculous concept to even accept that because I'm this, I'm that. And even Lyndon Johnson said in one of his speeches, and I have to give him credit because he was a Southern Democrat, so he knew the South very well. But he says all they have to do is, he says, all the rich Caucasian has to do is convince the lowest Caucasian that even though he ain't got nothing, as long as he has pale skin, he's better than you. And he ain't got nothing. He just as bad as his neighbor down the road, Willie and Jeb both in the same boat. But Jeb think that he's a little better and he got a chance. And he ain't got no chance either, because it's more of a class struggle than it is a race struggle. But as long as you can convince, as Lyndon Johnson said, the poorest white that he's better because he's white, then you've automatically allied him to that. He thinks he's got a chance, and he ain't got no more chance than a snowball does in the oven. It just don't work that way.
Yes, absolutely. Oh boy, it's so much that we work to share with others to help give them a better understanding of why we need to struggle, why we need to continue fighting. And we definitely cannot give up. Definitely cannot give up. So, this morning went very well. And I'm glad that all of you tuned in. I want you to know that each and every Saturday, you're invited to join Hood Research for an afternoon of conversation, presentations, and we look forward to you calling and sharing yours as well. And to participate on Saturdays, we begin at 2 p.m., end at 6 p.m. You just dial 1-978-990-5000, and then you put in the access code, which is 338729, and press the pound key. That's each Saturday. And we want you to join us again and every Monday at 9 a.m. for an hour and a half. And know that we're doing all that we can to share information with people. And I want to thank you, and I want to let you know that it's not necessary for you to know everything. What is necessary is for you to know how to find what you need when you need it. As we in Hood Research do, we seek out as much information as we can and share it with you to help us all make better informed decisions.
And my two parting statements: one, August 3rd is coming, the primary is coming. Make sure you, your household, your neighborhood are registered to vote. This is very serious. There'll be 4 new candidates for city council. There'll be city charter commission revision being on the ballot. You need to vote. Second thing, if you want to be nothing, do nothing. But the only problem with doing nothing is you never know when you're finished.
Absolutely. I like that. And the Charter Commission had to send the completed copy to Lansing for review by the governor and by the Attorney General. And it seems that once again, systemic racism, somebody doesn't want that charter to be approved.
What they don't want, we want. Vote.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's right. So thanks again for being on with Hood Research. Google your app for WHPR TV Now. WHPR TV Now NOW. So, next week, till then, see ya and be safe.
Peace.
Peace.
Feedback.
Hi, this is Theo Broughton,
And I am Thabiti Mpinda,
inviting you to join us each Monday at 9 a.m. for feedback.
a positive image production by Hood Research.
Encourage others to tune in each Monday on
Comcast Detroit, Roku, Amazon Fire TV, watch WHPR TV Network anywhere.
and take us along with you.
Feedback.